You did a good job on the Omega Base team. You saved thousands of lives and billions of dollars in SHIELD equipment. Yes, a device known as the Mutant Amplifier. It magnifies a mutant's natural powers. Until we locate Doom's base, nothing. And since all we're doing is cooling our heels, I want you to investigate a report that there's a riot taking place in Atlantis. See Wyatt Wingfoot, and he'll take you to SHIELD's Atlantis outpost. Or if you'd like more information, talk to the Black Widow.
We just received a message from Namorita, the cousin of Namor. Apparently, there is a riot going on in Atlantis. Unknown, but for some reason, the Atlanteans have forcibly removed Namor from his throne. Yes, which means something is seriously wrong. See Wyatt when you are ready to go to SHIELD's outpost in Atlantis.
Miss Bambi and Miss Heather are still waiting for you in the main lobby, Mr. Stark.
We do not know. He has been a fair and just ruler for many years. The people love him. Perhaps, but Namor has always been kind to his people. There has to be some other explanation for this mass hysteria.
Happy birthday, Mr. Grimm.
When Mer-people and surface dwellers first met, there was quite a bit of hostility. There were even several invasion attempts.
Mr. Stark.
The relationship between our two races is lukewarm at best. The Mer-people prefer to keep us at arm's distance.
Mr. Stark, there's Miss Bambi and...
Once you reach our Atlantis outpost, you will be infected with a special nanotechnology. Mr. Fantastic and Dr. Pym had a hand in developing it. It will allow you to breathe water with no discomfort. You will also be able to move along the bottom of the ocean, as if you were moving on dry land. You are quite welcome.
Warning. A small thermonuclear device is missing, and Deadpool was last seen in the weapons lab.
Ah, my cybernetic helmet. Thanks. I owe you one. The mutant amplifier vastly augments any mutant's natural power. So a psychic that can lift a book will become powerful enough to lift a bus. Yes, but it has some serious side effects. The amplifier causes damage to the DNA of any mutant it's used on. Not much. The serum's only worked on Captain America. There's something very peculiar about his physique. That, plus the doctor who originally developed it, is dead. He'd wind up with a bunch of muscle-bound beasts, just like you saw in the Omega. They're psychotic, violent, unable to take orders. Not exactly what you'd want from an army.
Mr. Stark, there's Miss Bambi.
Ah, there's no problem at all.
In the main lobby to see you.
Hello again. How may I be of assistance?
In the electronics lab.
Namor is the first known hybrid of Homo sapiens and Homo mermanus, humans and Mer-people. He can breathe water and air, but if he's away from water too long, he will begin to weaken. As with most Mer-people, he has an inborn distrust of surface dwellers, and true to his belligerent nature, Namor can take his distrust to the extreme. The Atlanteans are distant cousins to your race. Having evolved on the ocean floor, it is impossible for them to breathe air. Because they live in the extreme conditions of the ocean, Mer-people are very hardy. They are stronger than humans, can swim up to 30 miles per hour, and live to be over 150 years of age. I am glad to be of assistance.
Invisible Woman. Iceman.
Let's go do some superhero stuff.
Mr. Stark, there's a Harold Hogan online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Stark, there's Miss Bambi and Miss Heather here in the big lobby.
Welcome and good day to you. I am Edwin Jarvis, personal butler to Mr. Anthony Stark. This area is where Mr. Stark carries out the research and development of his Iron Man suit. As you can imagine, the body armor has become so complex that a staff of technicians is required. You may walk around and inspect the facilities. I believe you'll already find several of your compatriots here.
The name's Jack Hammer, but you can call me Weasel. Everyone does. Yeah, and don't worry, I came in through the back. No one saw me. Wyatt Wingfoot gave me a damaged laptop. Said you heroes wanted to know what data was on it. Yeah, that laptop holds security information for a building called the Imperium. I can find out, but you'll have to get me the password into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s priority files. Oh, there's three possibilities. Jacob Fury, Baron Strucker, or Gabriel Jones. Talk to Vision. He'll be able to help.
I do hate to impose, but if you see a cufflink somewhere in Stark Tower, could you return it to me? It was lost by Mr. Stark, and it has extreme sentimental value to him. My name is Edwin Jarvis, and I'm Mr. Anthony Stark's butler, as well as the butler for the Avengers. You could say it runs in my blood. My mother and father worked for Mr. Stark's parents. It is a dream of Mr. Stark's that was 4 years in the making. The top 3 floors are his living quarters. The rest of the building houses his business interests. No, not any longer. Mr. Stark recently had a change of heart concerning that particular field of industry. This is primarily where new Iron Man suits are built for Mr. Stark. Oh, indeed he does. But as his designs have grown more and more complex, he has required assistance in manufacturing them. It was my pleasure.
I must admit, I find news of a SHIELD outpost near Atlantis very intriguing. Now I know the extent SHIELD is willing to go to gather information on countries with closed borders. Indeed it does. And now I wonder if perhaps SHIELD doesn't have an outpost hidden there. We have the largest deposit of vibranium in the world. To open our borders would be an invitation to those who would conquer us. Over the centuries, fools have tried. But the Black Panther is always there to stop them. Indeed I am. Victor Von Doom has created a sizable army of supervillains. I don't know. But Doom must have a truly grand scheme to risk attacks on the helicarrier and the Omega base. You are quite welcome.
Good day. It was my...
I know seeing the Super Soldier project has raised some concerns about SHIELD, but let's get all the facts before we cause any trouble. I think SHIELD has a lot to deal with, and sometimes it makes mistakes, but historically, it's done a great job of keeping the peace. I saw they were testing out a new version of the Super Soldier Serum, the same type of drug that gave me my strength and agility. Yes. During World War II, I volunteered for Operation Rebirth. It was a program for creating physically superior soldiers. I exceeded their expectations. Unfortunately, Dr. Erskine, the man who developed the drugs, was killed, and no one's been able to recreate his work. I have to admit, things sound kind of suspicious. Like, why was she carrying that laptop during the attack on the helicarrier? No. I'd need a lot more evidence before I'd say something like that about the Black Widow. Anytime, friend.
The Black Widow is up to something, I just know it. Did you see how nervous she was on the helicarrier? Sure looks like it. She must have been trying to get that laptop to the enemy during the helicarrier battle. Yes. That laptop shows all security systems for the building. And from the looks of those systems, the Imperium must hold something valuable. Not yet. She's his second in command. We're going to need some pretty strong evidence to shake Fury's faith in her. Yes. Colonel Fury's trust doesn't come easily, and once given, it's nearly impossible to break. Okay, so Daredevil and I were close several years back, and the Black Widow and Daredevil were close not so long ago. No, I'm not. I'm long over Daredevil. If he can find happiness with the Black Widow, I wish them both the best. You're welcome.
Stark towers of beauty, isn't she? I consider her one of my greatest achievements. No problem. Our little task force needed a base, so it seemed like the thing to do. I wasn't worried about the cost. That is, until S.H.I.E.L.D. and I had our little disagreement. More like they had trouble with me. I wanted out of the weapons business. I can't tell you how many breach of contract suits they filed. That was just the beginning. Suddenly I had trouble getting building permits.
filing patents. Don't get me started on how my taxes changed. I'm not sure exactly. One morning I realized I needed to do more than just amass wealth. I wanted to help people, and weapons aren't that helpful. You really don't need that many billions to get by. No, my life's taking a new course. I want to be remembered for helping lives, not destroying them. Anytime, my friend. Anytime at all.
Welcome back from the Omega Base, Mrs. Richards.
Hello, Vision. It's a lucky thing we ran into Dr. Banner, or that gamma bomb would have detonated.
I know it's a name Colonel Fury would just as soon forget. Jacob Fury was so jealous of his older brother's success that he turned to a life of crime. Yes, and to make matters worse, the Colonel was forced to kill Jacob. So you can see why Colonel Fury does not care to dwell on that name. I would suggest you talk to the Black Widow about that name. I am glad to be of assistance.
Greetings. Welcome back. I would not say that name too loud. He is a leader of Hydra, and a longtime nemesis of Colonel Fury. You should ask Colonel Fury about Mr. Jones. You are quite welcome.
Well done on the Omega mission. Will you have the same success in Atlantis? Gabe? Heck yes. He's a great guy. Back in the day, he was one of my Howling Commandos. He still is. Gabe's one of my top advisors. He saved me from making serious mistakes more times than I care to remember. You're welcome.
The nanotechnology is moving in the electronics lab. Colonel Fury, Red Roast is on line 6. Warning, a small thermonuclear device is missing, and this was last seen in the weapons lab.
Ah, splendid. You located the missing cufflink. It was a gift from Miss Virginia Potts when she had been Mr. Stark's secretary. It was my pleasure.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks. When you get back from Atlantis, I'll have all the information you need. It definitely belongs to the Black Widow. It's got her fingerprints all over it. For most techs, it would have been a lost cause, but for me, I managed to drag up a few tidbits of information. It mostly dealt with a building called the Imperium. I don't know, but that laptop had the layout of the building and all kinds of information about the security. I can, but you need to get me Fury's password into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s priority files. I bet I'll find everything you want to know. My sources tell me it's one of three possibilities. Jacob Fury, Baron Strucker, or Gabriel Jones. That's what I need you to find out. Talk to Vision. He'll be able to help. Sure. Anytime.
Mr. Stark, there's a Harold Hogan on line 2 for you. Mr. Stark, there's Miss Bambi and Miss Heather here.
Could I ask a big favor of you? Would you ask Dr. Pym if he could take a look at the Quinjet's data feed to Stark Tower? It cuts out every once in a while.
Electronics lab.
Are you kidding? Mr. Stark built this jet as tough as they come.
Is on line 6.
No problem. She's completely submersible. Anytime at all, friend.
A small thermal nuclear device is missing, and Desmond was last seen in the weapons lab. The President is on line 5, Colonel Fury.
Hi, it's good to see you. Do you need something?
Bambi and Miss Heather are still waiting for you in the main lobby, Mr.
Ah,
Stark.
that's right. The Quinjet's comm line to the Stark Tower was cutting out. I'll take care of that right away. It was no problem at all.
Johnny Storm would like you to announce that today is Ben Grimm's 65th birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Grimm. Mr. Stark, there's a Harold Hogan on
Hi.
line 2 for
It's good to see you.